If 130-pound superstars Érik Morales and Manny Pacquiao both win tonight, boxing fans will likely be treated to a rematch of the unforgettable battle they waged just 6 months ago.
Pacquiao lands his left-hand play, and Morales chases him across the ring and says, "Let's fight!" Good hard right hand by Morales. Pacquiao comes off with the left. Right hand over the top by Morales. Right hands to the body. Pacquiao lands a sizzling left. Pacquiao with a four-punch combination. Great left hand by Morales stops Pacquiao in his track. Right hand wobbles him again. Morales senses a chance. Pacquiao comes back. What a brilliant round. There's nowhere else in sport you'll find greater passion, greater courage, greater sheer guts than what these two guys are showing you. This is boxing at its best.
When it was over, Morales' size and tactical brilliance had won the day in a classic high-action drama. Tonight, Morales and Pacquiao find themselves on a collision course once again, circling each other from a distance as they compete in separate bouts en route to their seemingly inevitable rematch.
What an awesome show! What a great fight! World Championship Boxing is live in high definition from Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Tonight, we have a pair of bouts featuring two of the biggest names in boxing. First, Filipino slugger Manny Pacquiao takes on veteran Hector Velázquez at 130 pounds. Then, Érik Morales meets Philadelphian Zahir Raheem. They're fighting with a 135-pound limit. Presumably, the winners of these two bouts will meet next. That is, if the winners are Pacquiao and Morales. Inside Staples Center, a large and raucous crowd reflecting the avid followings that both fighters bring to the ring. Hello again, I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to this World Championship Boxing doubleheader in Los Angeles, featuring two of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Both Érik Morales and Manny Pacquiao are at the top of the list for taking risks to please boxing fans both in and out of the ring. So tonight is a bit unusual, because while they are two of the most exciting fighters in the sport, and their careers on both sides have been marked by big fight after big fight after big fight, both will be trying to gain careful, safe passage over less glamorous opposition tonight to do the proper business of setting up a possible rematch against each other. Working with me, as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, in order for us to get to the rematch of the sensational fight that Pacquiao and Morales staged earlier this year, both fighters have to get past limited opposition in some ways tonight. This is a careful piece of business, but is it possible that a real fight breaks out?
The smart money is on Bruce Trampler. He's the matchmaker for promoter Barb Arum, whose mandate was to create a kind of infomercial for the rematch. Reasonable, but not dangerous opposition for the stars. But this is not an exact science or even intelligent design. You may remember that Oscar de la Hoya, in a similar scenario, had to be rescued by the kindness of judges from an upset by Felix Sturm so that he could go on to fight Bernard Hopkins for the bigger, much bigger bucks. We don't expect the big bucks to stop here.
All right, and a little bit later we'll be hearing from our expert commentator, Emmanuel Stewart, one of the greatest trainers in the history of the sport. And with an eye toward that, we talk about another trainer. Manny Pacquiao is one of the most colorful fighters in boxing. He has a colorful entourage. One of the members of that entourage is Freddie Roach, who has carved out a great career as a trainer after having been a protege of one of the greatest trainers of all time. Freddie Roach is extremely close to Manny Pacquiao, the fighter. Through the force of great passion and knowledge, Freddie Roach has become one of boxing's top trainers.
Here, after your combinations, you can't stand in front of this guy.
As he works the mitts with slugging superstar Manny Pacquiao, you wouldn't suspect Freddie Roach suffers from a debilitating disease.
Right here.
Freddie's lifelong link to boxing was predestined. His father, Paul, made boxing a family affair, and Freddie's path was established.
My dad lived through us. He was a fighter. He wanted us to be fighters. It was part of life in the Roach household. My first fight was when I was 6 years old, my first tournament when I was 8 years old. I love my dad, and he died a few years ago, but he was a very physical person, and he had a mean side to him. If you didn't choose to be a fighter, you caught more beatings than the guys that chose fighting did. He used to tell me that he'd knock me out if we ever fought each other. I believed him, and I was scared of him.
As a junior featherweight in the 1980s, Freddie channeled that fear, styling himself a crowd-pleasing free swinger with a zest for combat.
I was aggressive. My style as a fighter was take one and give two. You know, I was a white kid who fought hard, bled sometimes, and people like that. And I was number 8 in the world, and I thought I was going to be world champion.
Trained by the legendary Eddie Futch, Roach battled Bobby Chacon, Hector Camacho, and Greg Haugen, but never won a title. A broken hand and a series of losses derailed Roach's career, and suddenly, at age 26, Freddie was finished as a fighter.
When I retired, I was broke. I kind of was a little bit bitter because I put my whole life into something and I didn't quite reach my goal, which was to be world champion. I got a job as a telemarketer, selling pens and key tags over the phone, and my phone name was Joe Davis.
Then Eddie Futch reached out to his former pupil to help train his legion of fighters. Within a year, Roach had his own champion in Virgil Hill.
I became Eddie's assistant. But I wanted nothing to do with it, but then I just found something that I actually did better than fight, and that's training fighters.
Since then, Roach has trained some of the biggest names in boxing, including Marlon Starling, Virgil Hill, Mike Tyson, Johnny Tapia, James Toney, and Manny Pacquiao. Roach credits his success to lessons learned from Futch, the gentle father figure who taught him to love boxing again.
I have worked with 17 world champions in all so far. I think Mr. Futch has like 23, 24, and I'm chasing him.
Freddie's latest charge, Manny Pacquiao, is a fighter with whom he shares a playful bond.
He's looking for my my future, you know, good future, not bad.
This kid is so fun to work with. Everything he does is 100%, and that's the way fighters are supposed to be.
I trust him, and he's like my father.
He's like my kid to me. He's like my son. I mean, I love this kid.
The ring wars ended nearly 2 decades ago for Freddie Roach, but there is a lonely battle he fights every day of his life.
In 1990, I was diagnosed with having Parkinson's. One of my neurologists says it's trauma-related from boxing. But, you know, they can't really prove that, but they can assume it. I'll shake sometimes. It's more embarrassing than anything. You know, I can't walk too well, but I can box in the gym 40 rounds if I want to. No problem. I don't talk to my fighters about my disease, and I don't think Manny even knows that I have Parkinson's, to be honest with you. It doesn't get in the way of my life and my training at all. Parkinson's is part of my life, but let's keep it at that. You know?
We don't have a problem about that.
My doctors tell me, you know, someday it could affect me where I can't function as well as I do. And I said, well, until that day happens, I'm gonna work my ass off. I'm not gonna lie down and die. I'm a fighter and I'll be a fighter till the end. I don't want anyone to feel sad for me because I'm very happy.
Within the past 2 years, Freddie Roach went above and beyond the role of trainer to Pacquiao and spoke out to become the driving force in helping to create publicity that allowed Pacquiao to ultimately shed the shackles of a manager and a promoter whom Roach perceived to be denying Pacquiao the fair rewards from his fighting. In effect, he wasn't getting paid as much as Roach thought that he should have gotten paid, and Roach made a public issue of it, and now Pacquiao has a new trainer and manager. So Freddie succeeded that way, Emanuel Stewart. Now, can he succeed in getting wild slugger Manny Pacquiao to fight smarter fights, or is that a lost cause?
That's a different case right there. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he should want to change him, because that's what's made him successful. The ideal situation for a trainer in this case would be to try to get the fighter to keep that little animosity and then get a little bit more technical. But that would be a dream situation. But I don't think that you're going to be able to contain that in Manny Pacquiao. And that's like trying to change Mike Tyson of the 80s from what he was. But that's what made him. And I think Pacquiao will always be that way, and he will never be able to change it.
All right, let's correct one verbal typo here. I said Pacquiao has a new trainer and manager. I meant to say he has a new promoter and manager. Obviously, Roach is still the trainer. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape now for Manny Pacquiao against his opponent tonight, Hector Velázquez of Mexico. Velázquez gives up 4 years in age to Pacquiao, who's a big figure in the sport but still only 26. Half-inch height advantage to Velázquez, who's not unlike Érik Morales, really, in style. An arm-length advantage to Pacquiao when measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in at 130. Unofficially tonight, they've both put on 10 pounds since the weigh-in. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Manny Pacquiao Hector Velázquez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, Harold. And now Mexican fans in the arena, and Mexican-American fans, of course, here to support Érik Morales, rise in unison to offer their friendly support to Hector Velázquez, who in years past has been a friend and a running mate of Morales's.
And also of Orlando Soto, another fighter from Tijuana who upset Rocky Juarez a couple of weeks ago. A similar tough guy. And in his last 2 bigger fights, he went the distance with Juarez in a very close fight and lost to Soto going the distance. So he's a tough guy that's going to take some taking out to take out.
But Pacquiao feels confident about the matchup because no one denies that Velázquez at some time or other is going to trade punches with Pacquiao. And that, for any other than the most elite fighters in the sport, is a very tough thing to do. If you have only normal hand speed, Emanuel Stewart, you're in a different world when you get ready to fight Manny Pacquiao.
That's true. You got to be able to take a punch to begin with, and you have to be very fundamentally sound, because Pacquiao sometimes is vulnerable after he punches with so much power and he relaxes for a second. But most normal fighters are not going to be able to take advantage of that.
Pacquiao is, of course, the #1 celebrity in his island nation home in the Philippines, but he's a massive star here in Los Angeles as well.
We talked before about the difficulties he had with management. He reportedly accepted an $800,000 settlement with Murad Muhammad, his former promoter. And he says he feels a lot better, lighter, faster, and quicker since he's resolved that situation.
He burst on the scene 3.5 years ago as the knockout sensation of the lower weight classes, and he's been in big fights ever since. Looking for another match with Érik Morales. There's Manny Pacquiao. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, USA, where tonight Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present Double Trouble, an evening of professional boxing for your entertainment. Brought to you in association with Integra Inmediata and AEG, along with HBO Sports. All bouts sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this first contest: Steve English, Alejandro Rochin, and Marty Salmon. And when the bell rings, the man inside the ring in charge of the action, referee Dr. Lou Moret. And now, 12 rounds of boxing. This is for the vacant WBC Super Featherweight International Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with green, official weight 130 pounds. Professional record, 42 victories, including 31 knockouts, 10 defeats, 2 draws, and 1 no contest. Damas y caballeros de Tijuana, Mexico, Hector Velázquez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red. Official weight, the same as his opponent, 130 pounds. Professional record, 39 victories, including 30 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 2 bouts even. From General Santos City, Philippines, the 3-time world champion, Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Michael.
Round 1 produces contact so far. Sufficient to demonstrate that Velasquez isn't going to try to hide from Pacquiao's speed and power.
Velasquez saying to Pacquiao, I thought you were a fighter. Let's see you fight me.
Uppercut inside by Pacquiao, stiff right hand by Velasquez. Momentarily backs the Filipino star off.
So far, Velasquez's ability to bend his head down has been making it very difficult for Pacquiao to land his favorite punch, a straight left hand, usually with his opponents with their heads up. So far, he hasn't been able to do that because of the low head movement.
There was the straight left hand. He led with it and landed the punch. In the past, Pacquiao has been criticized for repeating the same pattern over and over in the ring, particularly against Juan Manuel Marquez. Jab, jab, left hand. Jab, jab, left hand. Not enough variety. Velasquez avoids the headbutt and bangs Pacquiao twice to the body. Velasquez taking it right to Manny Pacquiao in round 1, and Pacquiao looks as though he didn't exactly expect this.
No, and for the most part, Pacquiao is doing the same thing. He's still trying to land that powerful straight left hand of his.
Pacquiao landed a right. Velasquez landed a right hand after earlier driving Pacquiao back with a left. So they're trading shots just a little bit more than 2 minutes into round 1. It's the kind of fight Manny Pacquiao wants to fight, but against an opponent who looks bigger and stronger.
And his opponent is very confident and very focused. I think this Mexican crowd right here is giving him a lot of encouragement.
And you saw Pacquiao look to the crowd and shake his head a little bit, as if to say he's trying to butt me with his skull. There's a big right hand by Velasquez. Pacquiao tries to answer straight away with a hard left hand. And there's a good left from Pacquiao. Velasquez holds his hands out as if to say that didn't hurt. Against Morales by a cut that he suffered in the 5th round of the fight. The cut could have been the product of a punch or of a headbutt. Look at the wild swinging that typifies the action to begin round 2.
Velasquez is nowhere near the accurate power puncher of Pacquiao, but he's still coming in very, very determined, and his style seems to be giving a little problem to Pacquiao.
Well, and his size as well, because he's been hit some nice solid punches and walked right through them.
Right. Pacquiao's biggest win was his devastating TKO of Marco Antonio Barrera in San Antonio in November of '03. Since that time, he's been fighting bigger guys. Marquez, Morales, now Velasquez, all of them bigger and stronger than Barrera, and it's been different.
It's been different. He's a very exciting, emotional type fighter, very explosive. But his biggest weakness, if you notice, is after he throws that powerful left hand sometime, temporarily he's out of position because he punches with so much power, and some of these guys come back with right hands and they catch it.
What about the fact that he's such a rampant offensive attacker that he has a still head and is not that difficult to hit?
That's true.
Morales certainly took advantage of that in outboxing him earlier this year. Used Pacquiao's head as a target for his jab over and over. Now Manny begins to assert himself a little bit more here in round 2.
He's trying to find that knockout power with that left hand, and he's getting closer and closer.
It's going to take an accumulation, it would appear, but the accumulation could well take place.
And see, once again, that's what I'm saying. After he throws that left hand punch, that's when he gets caught usually, right after that.
But he got Velasquez with a counter left hand in that last exchange. That stunned Velasquez. Velasquez now nailing Pacquiao with a right. Pacquiao backs Velasquez off with a left. Velasquez wobbled momentarily after two big Pacquiao left hands.
You know, the guy like Velasquez, sometimes you have to watch very carefully. He's so uncoordinated and gangly that you'll get excited thinking that he's hurt and maybe overextend yourself.
Pacquiao is starting to get more accurate with both his jab and the left hand. That lead left hand landed flush. Now the speed begins to show up.
Pacquiao is trying to take a break right now just to figure out what's going on.
He blocked one right hand with his glove, took the second right hand, and shook his head a bit. Pacquiao landing a left in there. Velasquez with a right and a left. Wild action extends beyond the bell at the end of round two.
A fight has broken out.
Yeah.
Don't lower your hands. He's got quick hands, that's all. He doesn't even know how to fight. You know better. You're a better fighter than he is. This is your opportunity. Don't waste it. You understand me? You are superior to him in everything. Don't let him take the initiative. He can't even fight. You know how to fight. You've been in the gym for a long time. Throw the overhand right and hit him underneath. Come on, hit him hard, underneath.
CompuBox numbers through the first two rounds. Power punches only. Forget jabs. Pacquiao's thrown 109 power punches already, landed 37. Velasquez has unleashed 76 power shots, landed 28. Straight right hand for Velasquez.
No, limpio. Break thing, come on.
Velasquez swinging away with the right hand after Pacquiao popped him inside with the left. And you heard Velasquez's corner, Emmanuel. They think he's overexcited and they want him to be more under control.
Yeah, he's I guess you're such a strong pro-Mexican crowd, even though you have a good Filipino crowd here, but I think he's gotten wrapped up into the excitement of the crowd here.
That's right. He's momentarily wearing Érik Morales' cape because he's got the full support of Morales' crowd. So maybe he feels like he's Morales.
But also, you know, by the same token, even though he's not the most talented guy, he's doing something I think is very good with his limited talent, and that is punching that weird right hand that he throws after Pacquiao finishes punching, because Pacquiao is out of position usually after he finishes up his flurries.
Larry made the point about conventional fighter versus a southpaw. But in truth, Manny Pacquiao doesn't stay in a southpaw stance all that much.
That's right, and that's often why he's vulnerable to get hit a lot. He actually gets square sometimes after he throws punches, like right there.
He would just as soon square up because he wants to fight.
He's a very exciting, explosive fighter. I love him. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch.
Well, you want to see guys who hit and get hit. Manny Pacquiao hits and gets hit. Hard left hand.
I have the sense that Pacquiao's speed is beginning to dominate, but that Velasquez is dangerous, and anywhere along the line he could land a big punch that could change the fight.
The speed is just such a big difference. Velasquez is just so much slower, and also it looks like Pacquiao seems to be in very good condition. Even though he's punching a lot, he seems to stay up recuperating powers very good and coming back right after each exchange.
Does appear to be in sensational shape. Pacquiao is known to be a gym rat, very proud of his training habits. Prior to the Morales fight, Filipino fans in Los Angeles were allowed to come to the Wild Card gym where Freddie Roach trains Pacquiao and watch him train on a daily basis. After that fight, Roach decided that was too much of a distraction, and this time around, they shut them out.
No, 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 no. Stop.
Whenever they set up and face each other again, it's usually Pacquiao who lands first because of his greater speed.
His favorite combination is to line you up with a right jab and shoot a powerful left hand. And sometimes he comes back out of position, but he shoots so much power that sooner or later he's going to start contacting.
Nice job, okay? Good job. Focus. Now, Manny, I want you and with the hook. Put the uppercut and the hook together for me. Put the uppercut and the hook together for me. Okay? Yeah.
When somebody comes as hard as Pacquiao, he doesn't have to look good. And suddenly Velasquez doesn't seem as confident that the kid in front of him is going to be smaller and somebody he can handle.
I saw something interesting on the replay there. If you're going to block a punch with your glove, it'd be a good idea to hold the glove firm so that it doesn't go right into your face, as is what happened to Velasquez there. There's the speed and the big left hand by Pacquiao. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim. 2 rounds to 1. 29-28. Manny Pacquiao. Jim, I thought Hector Velázquez did enough with that looping right hand to win round 1. But in rounds 2 and 3, Manny Pacquiao with that straight left hand and that move after he hits him has just been murdering Velasquez. I mean, Velasquez has to score when Manny Pacquiao's right in front of him, and that's all there is to it.
Power connects in round 3. Pacquiao was 18 out of 47. Velasquez 8 out of 38. So Velasquez got a benefit early on from swinging away and unleashing his offense. But more and more, Pacquiao has found the openings in that attack to allow him to land power punches.
Yes, it's a very tough fight for Pacquiao. I never expected it to be this difficult, but you know, I guess it's a tough guy mentally, I think, and physically. And also, you know, basically, Pacquiao still doing basically the same thing over and over, though. If he would relax and box something like they've been telling him, he could maybe be more effective with power punches, but everything that he does is a power punch. He drives his opponent into a defensive mode with merely the way he shoots his jab, usually.
He acts in thriller movies in the Philippines. He's been in 5 different movies. In each of the last 2, he's the star. His buddies are wrestlers and action fighters from other kinds of action fighting sports and combat sports. He wants every moment of his life to be a thriller.
Yeah, but it is, but you know, I don't know how many of these type fights he can keep having back to back. And when you're fighting the quality guys, you don't knock them out that easy.
Well, fighters like this, as you know, Emmanuel, they have a few hot years when they're filled with confidence, and it's the time you just gotta take the gun and shoot it.
Larry, you're right, but still, a fighter like him, he has to do what he's doing right now. He may make enough money in the next year or 2 where if he does run out of energy, so to say, he'll at least be a rich man.
He's also going to sing with the Black Eyed Peas in a song called Champion. Licensed fists for a champion.
Black Eyed Peas are red hot. Manny Pacquiao's red hot. Good match. Black Eyed Peas are a high contact group. Manny Pacquiao is a high contact fighter.
And Velasquez is just so relaxed. That's why it's so difficult to hurt him. It totally relaxed. His body, everything is easy going, and he absorbs and goes with every blow that he gets hit with.
You know, Freddie Roach asked Manny Pacquiao to throw a few more body punches. I sometimes get the impression he could go a whole month without throwing a body punch.
No, he just loves to fight. He's a very exciting guy. explosive, then he rests, recuperates, then he explodes again, rests again, then explodes again.
Couldn't he make it easier if he would focus on the body just a little bit, Emmanuel?
Oh, yeah, and he can box a little bit, mix up his attack. Every punch don't have to be a knockout punch. He can relax his opponent, and then a hard punch would be more effective. But when you see him moving towards you, you can expect nothing but dynamite in every punch.
Here's a good body punch.
And there's a good, solid left hand upstairs, set up by the body punch. Velasquez gets in a good little shot to the body. Pacquiao just keeps bombing him upstairs with rights and lefts.
No, no, no. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Pacquiao has landed more right hands tonight than we usually see him.
Yes. You know, when he gets tired after his explosion and wants to take a break, his opponent, Velasquez, follows him, but he follows him so slow that he can take his break and set up and start all over again without being in any danger. Another good right hand.
All right, and as the fighters go to their corners, let's take a look at a sensational moment from the undercard. 2000 United States Olympian Brian Valoria fighting for a world championship in the light flyweight division. The Hawaiian punch in the white trunks. This is the end of round one, and Valoria landed that sensational right hand to the chin of Eric Ortiz. Ortiz struggled manfully to get up, but at the end of what had been a violent round one, Ortiz fell back to his knees, and Valoria, with a first round knockout, became the third member of the 2000 Olympic team to win a world championship, joining Jermaine Taylor and Jeff Lacey.
Lacey, who is here tonight.
And Emmanuel Stewart, Brian Valoria was sensational tonight.
Yes, he was. You know, he's the smallest guy of the team to win a title, but the most impressive.
He can take advantage of all the Filipino fans who have come out for Pacquiao, and maybe that'll be part of his fan base as well.
CompuBox numbers through round 5. Pacquiao's landed 109 power shots. Velasquez has landed 68. Shows you what a dynamic offensive force Pacquiao is. Shows you that he leaves himself open defensively.
Yes, it does. But this is the perfect opponent for him in preparation for the fight with Morales, because even though he may get tired and he's having a rough contest, the slowness of the opponent, Velasquez, will always permit him to be able to get away.
There's an abrasion alongside the left eye of Velasquez. Testimony to those right hands he's been catching just like that.
Sizzling right hand inside by Pacquiao, who has zeroed in the last couple of rounds and seems to be getting more and more accurate with his power shots.
I'm very impressed with his stamina and his condition right there, because he's thrown a lot of punches, I mean power punches, and still is punching with full power at this stage of the fight.
There's a creeping doubt in my mind, Emmanuel, as to whether Manny Pacquiao is really a 130-pound fighter.
No, I don't think so. I think his best weight is 126 pounds. And when you're fighting guys who like Morales, who are coming in from 140, that natural weight, it can be a big factor late in the fight.
Perfect right hand by Pacquiao.
Right hook.
Stuns Velasquez. Pacquiao trying to finish it. Got 40 seconds to get it done. One of the most vicious finishers in the sport. Velasquez in big trouble now, trying to hold on.
Velasquez is doing something that's very smart. Clinch, even if you have to fall down with the opponent.
Pacquiao just missed a counter left hand that would have ended the fight. Good job of holding on by Velasquez. He's still staggering.
Velasquez is not only hurt, I think fatigue is a big factor now. There's no way I can see him going with the fight.
The increasing accuracy of Pacquiao's shots making a difference, and Velasquez goes to his knee as the round comes to a close. They're saying he did so before the bell, so it is a knockdown. And that's a stoppage.
Good call by the referee.
Something nobody else has done among the name opponents that he has fought in recent years. He is the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao does his part, and in typical Manny Pacquiao fashion, he wasn't going to take no for an answer on the knockout quest tonight.
I was very impressed tonight. Punching power, stamina, everything.
I was just about to come to the conclusion it was going to be very difficult for him to get that knockout tonight. And he stepped up the accuracy of his power shots and started landing them all right on the button.
And especially the right hook. You know, everyone was looking for the left hand, he landed the right hook, and that's what started most of the problems.
All right, let's take a look here. This is the first moment at which Velasquez was hurt. Look at the perfect right hook. As Velasquez was stepping in, Pacquiao picking his spot and nailing him with that right hook.
The punch that you don't see is the punch that always hurts you.
And then a barrage of straight left hands following that. And referee Lou Filippo watching closely to be certain that Velasquez was still throwing, still defending himself. When Velasquez went down, Filippo gave him the count and realized that the Mexican fighter had had enough of Pacquiao's constant storm of power punches.
I'm looking very much forward to his fight with Morales.
You are. So Manny Pacquiao's luster grows again. And referee, I keep saying Lou Filippo, that's Lou Moret. Let me correct that. We got two Lou's here in California, and that's Lou Moret. Hugging the fighter. Here are the CompuBox numbers, sizing up the Pacquiao knockout of Hector Velázquez. And Velázquez was the perfect opponent for this kind of show. Willing, aggressive. Thought for a second he had a chance in the fight. Pacquiao practically doubling Velasquez in the number of punches landed. Never stopped throwing, as is his wont in virtually every one of his assignments. Power shots, that's what the fight was all about. Straight left hand, right hook for Pacquiao landing 146 times. Velasquez mostly looping right hands, the occasional body shot en route to his own power punch numbers. Larry Merchant stands by in the ring with the winner, Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Manny. Early in the fight, you hit him some very hard punches, but he was big and strong. Did you think you would be able to knock him out tonight?
I expected I knock him out in the in the 6 rounds or 7 rounds, but that's my opinion. That's my idea.
Did he hurt you with any of the punches that he hit you with?
No, not he didn't hit me.
After losing to Érik Morales and having a draw with Marquez, how important was this to you personally?
I'm sorry.
After losing to Morales and having a draw with Marquez, how important was it to you personally to come here and win a fight like this?
It's very, very important, this victory, because first of all, I have to recover my name in boxing, and also I have to bring my honors to my country, especially in this time.
Do you feel differently with a different managerial group now?
Yeah, I feel happy right now. I'm not thinking about anything else except my focus in training. So I'm very focused to my training this fight, and I don't have a problem this fight.
Are you looking forward to a rematch with Érik Morales?
Yeah, that's what I need to win this fight. I'm working hard. I work hard this fight because especially. I am lost in last fight against Morales.
Do you think you can beat Érik Morales in the rematch?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Manny.
All right, thank you very much, and I would like to thank to HBO for this another big opportunity to my name to recover my name, and hope thank you very much to all fans love boxing. Thank you very much to all support with us, and I would like to thank to all my countrymen, especially the first gentleman is here and watching, and to all the people of the Philippines. Thank you very much to all your support.
Thank you again, Manny. Jim?
Way to go, Manny. I believe that is the first time Manny Pacquiao has done the post-fight interview in English without an interpreter. He's been wanting to get to that level as he studies English, and Manny, that was great. He did it. Well, Manny Pacquiao said that he lost his first fight against Érik Morales because his then promoter had made a deal that required him to wear the Asian glove winning. He says winning gloves are like pillows. Those were not pillow gloves tonight.
Well, you know, a lot has been made about the gloves. Me personally, I don't think it's a big factor, and I would still stand by that. I've actually tried on those winning gloves themselves. It's a very hard, compact glove, not like they used to be. And don't forget, Morales is a good puncher himself. I mean, neither one of these guys have been scoring a lot of knockouts lately because they've been fighting top quality guys. But Morales punches okay too. So the same was for both of the guys. So I don't think the gloves was that big a factor.
And now, off of what we just saw, I would have to say if there's going to be any difference in Manny Pacquiao the second time around against Érik Morales, it isn't going to be a style difference. Maybe he'll try to be more focused, better conditioned, and wear different gloves.
Well, it's going to be a tough fight. I don't care if those guys fight a million times, it's going to be tough because of the inner strength that both guys bring into the ring and the intensity. I think tonight's performance was a very impressive performance for me.
All right, still to come, the other main event between Érik Morales and Zahir Raheem. But right now, let's look ahead. Can Roy regain his magic touch with his father back in his corner? Or is Tarver the end of the line for the great Roy Jones' career?